I don't know why I'm doing this. That said, stand up, New York Mets fans. I'm warning you, Mendoza. Do not make a bonehead pitcher gamble like you have in 4 of the last 7. Whether it was last Friday by taking Holmes out and putting Blackburn in instead of Brazabon, whether it was Tuesday pulling Peterson and out too late, whether it was pulling Clay Holmes out too late on Thursday, and then putting in Reed Garrett at the wrong inning last night. That has been one of the key factors that has pissed me off to no end with this Mets squad. Carlos Mendoza and his dim-witted, illogical need to pitcher gamble. And anyone who has heard me in my rants on this issue, you know I want to shoot him, I want to crush him, I want to cut his head off, I want to put a shot collar around his neck and fry him. I want to dangle him from the highest point of the stadium and basically hold him there, threatening to drop him until he agrees no more pitcher gambling. Every possible threat, both fatal and not fatal alike, to get him to stop. Salute, Cap. Hey, Cap. You busy tonight, or do you want to come in for this? Mets in their alternate road blue unis. Sup, Mac? You want in or no? Oh, Mac. It'll be Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, McNeil. Why the fuck is Jared Young and Monty Mauricio in the lineup? I don't want these two dumbasses in there. They're too much free swingers. Alvarez in bat 7th behind the plate. Beatty in third and playing third, and Mauricio playing second, and Mauricio playing third. Mick Abel will start for the Phillies tonight. Kepler, Marsh, and Castellanos in the outfield. Bohm, Turner, Stott, Kemp in. Kemp playing for the injured Bryce Harper. Real Muto behind the plate for Philadelphia. Blame that on a dumbass pitcher gamble by Mendoza. First pitch to Lindor is high, ball 1. Last 5 games, Lindor has walked twice, struck out 6 times. He's gone over his last 18. Ball 2. Way upstairs, 3-0. Take strike one on the corner. 3-1. Lindor hammers this one to right, but Castellanos leans in, slides, and makes the catch. Here's Nimmo, strike one on a curveball. Can this Mets squad do me a favor and wake the fuck up? Nimmo pops it up. Left center track, wall, gone! There we go. Home run Nimmo, number 15 on the year for him.
And Silva gets under one to deep center field. That goes Thomas. Warning track near the wall. And it's out of now in ahead of the 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here. Francisco Lindor leads off the game with a home run for the fourth time this season. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field. Chasing rode it back to the warning track. And it's out of here. Pete Alonso goes the other way.
One of the things I do find insufferable with Soto, though, is his unwillingness to swing at the first pitch more often than not. Fouls off that pitch. Oh, remains 0-2. Soto takes his time. I'm dead serious. One of my biggest pet peeves with having Soto in the lineup is he doesn't go after that first pitch more often than not, even when it's right over the plate and he can whack it. In the dirt, 1-2. Screw you, DB. Overrated chance. Pulls it down the first base line, but it's going to go foul. We'll do it again. One, two. 2-2. The 2-2. And Soto smacks one to right. And that's going to go off the fence. Soto will hit the brakes as Castellanos gets it in quickly off the carom. 1-out single for Soto. Give it a little more oomph and it goes over the fence. Boom. A little higher on the... Well, if he had bolted out of the box instead of jogging, he would have gotten a double. Alonso pops this one up to right. to center. It's going to drop. Soto will have to hit the brakes and stop at second. So, back-to-back singles following a solo bomb by. So back-to-back. So 3 straight hits now for the Mets. Home run by Nimmo and a pair of singles by Soto and Alonso. Here comes the guy I didn't want in this lineup tonight. I don't know why Mendoza's gambling with this kid in the lineup again. Jared Young. Mound visit to try to calm Abel down. I can't blame Philadelphia for doing this early. I thought it was Monday in Miami, not Sunday. Doesn't he mean Monday in Miami? Philly wasn't playing the Marlins last Sunday, if I remember correctly. Weren't they playing Pittsburgh? Weren't they playing Pittsburgh last Sunday? Anyway, with runners in scoring position last night, the Mets went 0 for 2. Nothing too bad, but they still have the worst RASP batting average in the league. Mostly because they're over reliance on lack of plate discipline. Ball 1 up in the McNeil. McNeil hit a solo bomb last night that tied the game, but Mendoza let it get away when he stupidly put Garrett in over someone like me. And someone like putting Garza, Garrett instead of Garza first, putting Garrett over Garza when it should have been the other way around. I mean, would I have still been mad if he had done it and the outcome was the same it went last night? Yes, but not to the same level because you'd expect it. With Garrett, who's a much more surefire arm, you don't put him in the 7th, you put him in the 8th. 2-0 gets away, and the runners are going to move up. 3-0, and that removes the double play from the equation. So all McNeil's got to do is just get it out of the infield in one way, shape, or form. And not commit to a walk or try to commit to a strikeout. Now, why do I say he can't commit to either a walk or a strikeout? Walk, you load the bases and reintroduce the double play situation with Jared Young coming up. Strikeout, not as severe, but you still green light, and he fouls it off. 3-1. As I was saying, strikeout, not the same level of emergency severity, but still, Young is a surefire out, no matter how you look at it. 3-1. That's a shallow pop-up. So waits. He tags the throw. No, he's not going to stay. He's not going to run. 2 down. Not deep enough for Soto to take off. Much like how last night could have been, they got out of there pretty much unscathed. And Zach Wheeler got out of there unscathed. Ball 1. That's pop foul to the backstop. 1-1. Would have had Starling in this spot. Up and away, 2-1. I don't understand why Mendoza is now lineup gambling. I mean, yeah, pitcher gambling is bad, but depending on the situation, lineup gambling is just as bad, if not worse. I would have preferred Marte over Young in tonight's lineup. Strike 2. But then again, when you're desperate to end a 7-game losing streak, you'll do any kind of gambling to get out of it. 2-2. That's bounced to first. Kemp will get it. Scoop to Abel. And the Mets only get a home run out of it. 3 hits, and only Nimmo does any level of damage. Once again, the Mets' inability to get runners in from scoring position prevents anything. 1-0 New York through Philadelphia coming up down 1 through the first half inning. Turner leads off with Schwarber, Bohm, Castellanos, Kepler, Realmuto, Stott, Kemp, and Marsh. So let's see if Griffin Cannon can get back on the right track after he basically got clobbered in his last outing against Tampa on Father's Day. Especially when most of his starts have been against AL squads. Question is, can he get him down in the zone or down and away? First pitch. He goes up when he should be going down. Ball 1. Turner's not known for a lot of home run power, but he does have it. He mostly hits for contact. 1-0 pitch. 1-1. 1 on the cutter. Ground ball. Snatched by Lindor. Throw to single hop. Got him. 1 down. You're just on silence because I'm just on silent because I'm chatting with my mom. Chatting soon. Okay, Mac. Nice pick by Lindor. And then the one hop by grab by Alonso. Here's Schwarber, who's known for his bat power. 23 homers, 54 RBIs. The only reason he doesn't have as many RBIs to compound for those homers, most of his homers are solo bombs. Note I said most of them, but not all of them. That's popped up. Who's going to get it? Nobody. Yeah, why is Mauricio playing second? Here's Bohm. And that's going into the right field for a hit. Scooped up by Soto, and Schwarber will hit the brakes. So basically, a similar situation for Canning that held or whatever his name was, Abel was in. Griffin Canning in his first 8 starts went 5-1, but he's gone 1-2 in his last 6. Castellanos up next. Swing and a miss, took the slider low and away, 1-0-1. Castellanos had the basically death shot in last night's game with a 2-runner that made it completely out of reach, or just the kick him while you're down shot. 0-1 pitch. So towards the wall. Off the fence, tie game at bet. And an RBI double. Motherfucker. Yeah, now you decide to fix it, you dumbass motherfuckers. Not that it's going to matter. Kepler takes ball 1. Ground ball. And Mauricio, being the cautious little bastard, lets the run get home. 2-1 Philadelphia. I'm going to kill you, Mauricio. It should be McNeil in that spot, not you. I do not understand why Mendoza would line up Gamble like this. People wonder why. I kept saying, give me a death note. Let me dangle him from the top of the highest point of a stadium and threaten him with death. If I ever got the chance to cross paths with the son of a bitch. Basically to threaten him to never gamble a game away again. Whether in game, after game, or before it, this bullshit has got to stop. Better yet, I could just scrape his skin off piece by piece with this. 1-1 to Real Muto. 1-1 to Real Muto. Taps it foul. 1-2. Out of the glove anyway, 2-2. Baby smack, grabs it, inning over, but the Mets do cough up 2. 2 runs, 3 hits for Philadelphia. 1 inning complete, 2-1 Phillies. True. Alvarez fouls it off. 1-1 to start the second. Alvarez has been unbearably lazy since coming back from that injury. That's fouled off 0-2. That's fouled off again. Up and away, 1-1. 1-2, excuse me. That's pop foul back to the screen. We'll do it again. And he hasn't had any in this one so far. 1-2. Continues to fight it off. We'll do it again. Yeah, should have done it during the second half, bozo. Popped up. Right center field, going back to the track, and Castellanos has got it. Well, at least it's fixed. Here's Brett Beatty. Swing and a miss, strike one. Beatty calls time. In the dirt, 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike two, went after the curve. Beatty pops it up, center, left center, Marsh under it, 2 down. Strike one to Mauricio. One. I still question why bring Ronnie Mauricio back onto the lineup. Hello, Daniel Barry. 1-1 pitch. And this is my problem with having Mauricio in the lineup. He's too much of a like Jared Young, he's too much of a damn free swinger. 1 and 2. The sooner Vientos gets back, the better. That's chopped off the plate and foul. The sooner Vientos gets back, the better. We can ship him back down. He can work on his damn swing mechanics. One, two. Fastball and it's popped up. Marsh under it. Inning over. Mets go down quietly in the second. 2-1 Philadelphia through 1.5. Wake the fuck up, Mets! The team, not me. First pitch of Studs, a strike from Canning, 0-1. Hello, Joey77. 0-1 pitch. Little chopper. Mauricio's going to have to fire it fast, and he does. It gets stopped. 1 down. Strike 1. Detweiler. One. Otto Kemp coming in to replace. Otto's been in for the last handful of games to replace Bryce Harper, who's out with an inflamed wrist. I was wondering what was up with Harper as to why he wasn't playing the last handful of games for Philadelphia. 1-1 pitch. Goes too high. 2-1. That's driven to right to left center, and that's going to drop in the gap for a double. Nimmo throws in, too late. That was just a lazy ball thrown over the plate. A high middle-in slider that just didn't break. Here comes Brandon Marsh. Tapper back to the mound. Canning will go to Alonso. Kemp moves to third. 2 down. First, back to the top of the order for Turner. In the lineup for Canning, Trey Turner, strike 1. Missed it, but it's basically a punk copycat. Oh, 1 pitch. In the dirt, gets away, 3-1 Philadelphia. This Mets team has just been playing fucking lazy over the last week. I'm ready to kill you, Mendoza. This is hooking down the right field line and foul. One, two. In the dirt again, 2-2. Yeah, use your chest, slide on your knees, you son of a bitch. Little tapper to Lindor, he'll fling it to Alonso, gets the out, but another run gets home for Philadelphia on a wild pitch. We go to the third, 3-1 Phillies. Can the Mets please, for the love of that's all that's holy, wake the fuck up, both offensively and defensively? Before I decide to find an actual death note and write Mendoza's name in it. No kidding, he has. Lindor leads off, looking to end his slump. First pitch, up and away, ball one. Strike one, takes the curveball, 1-1. Two one. Shouldn't have swung at that one, Francisco. I called him a gambling moron. Fouled off. Yeah, mindless Mendoza. Full count. I will not. I will be out of town in Pigeon Forge next Saturday. Mars races back, going back to the track, to the wall. Lindor gets it out!
As Soto gets under one to deep center field. That goes Thomas to the warning track near the wall. And it's out of here! Now and ahead of the 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here! Francisco Lindor leads off the hill with a home run for the fourth time this season. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field. Chasing Rodin back to the warning track. And it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
That was long overdue for Lindor, and the Mets cut the deficit down to 3-2. O2 pitch to Nimmo. Popped up and out of play. It's 0-2 on Nimmo. DB, couldn't you have given me a shorter version of the Met home run video you gave me? O2 pitch. In the dirt, 1-2. Up and away, 2-2. For Lindor, that's his 15th of the year. Nimmo golfs one to right, and that one's gone. Tie game, back to back.
As Soto gets under one to deep center field. That goes Thomas to the warning track near the wall. And it's out of here! Now and ahead of the 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here! Francisco Lindor leads off the hill with a home run for the fourth time this season. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field. Chasing Rodin back to the warning track. And it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
So Soto actually did chase the first pitch in this at bat, but it went foul. Second pitch, 1-1. Goes outside, 1 ball, 1 strikes. Ball 1 strike, that one's low, 2-1, and Abel is in a bit of a pickle. Now, granted, 3 runs is the most he has given up. I think that came in one of his earlier outings this year against Chicago. 2-1, but he is nearing his pitch limit before Thompson takes him out. Ball 3 in on Soto, 3-1. I think it was like 2012 they moved the fences in at City, maybe 13 or 14. I don't remember. Granted, I've never been to City Field. In all honesty, I've never actually been to City Field. As a Yankee in his first 75 games, Soto had .304 batting average, 18 homers, and 56 RBIs. This year, a significant fall, 246, 1437, and a 133 with runners in scoring position when compared to the 366 he had and when he was in the Bronx, when he was up north in the Bronx. Payoff pitch. Soto smashes this one. 3 in a row for the Mets. Back to back to back, motherfucker. 4-3 New York.
And Soto gets under one to deep center field. That goes Thomas. Warning track near the wall. And it's out of here. Now in ahead of the 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here. Francisco Lindor leads off the game with a home run for the 4th time this season. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field. Chasing Rodin back to the warning track. And it's out of here. Pete Alonso goes the other way.
Lindor went off Otako. Nimmo and Soto go to right. 3 straight homers for the Mets. And Mick Abel is struggling. And he hasn't even gotten the first out of this inning yet. Here's Alonso, who hit a bloop single in his first at bat. And he takes a fastball over the middle, strike 1. Did that one hit Alonso or is it a foul ball? It hit the bat, 0-2. I couldn't really tell from that, the way it ricocheted. I thought it was a ball or it hit Alonso in the hand. Either way, 0-2. Should be 1-1. Ask me, but this ump is blind. Let's see what happens. 0-2 pitch. Alonso loses the bat on the foul ball. Oh, strike 3, and the bat goes flying, 1 down. Yeah, there goes a bat. Almost flies into the Met dugout. Thank God for that barricade. Hate for it to bounce off of. McNeil, ball 1 on the outside. And tonight, it's Lindor, Nimmo, and Soto who go back to back to back. And you see Joe Ross warming up in the bullpen for Philadelphia. 2-1. Two one, coughs at 1 low, 2-2. McNeil pops it up. Is it going to stay in play? And Bohm's got room, 2 down. And when he's about 8 away from the max that Rob Thompson will allow him to pitch, this is probably going to be the last bat. Jared Young, this second time around, will probably be the last batter that Abel faces tonight. Strike 1. Chase doesn't even bother pursuing the curveball. Should have been Strong Marte tonight. High and away, high and up, 1-1. Two one Young. He's gonna bloop this one. Caught by Turner. It's an easy, lazy liner to end the inning, but not before the Mets go back to back to back off of Abel. I think this will be the last time we see him tonight. 2.5 innings complete. It's New York 4, Philadelphia 3. Seriously, they played the blues goal song Gloria from. When did that song come out? I mean, I know it was in the early 80s, right at the end of the disco era. By Laura Branigan. Well, granted, Laura Branigan's version is basically a cover of the original. First pitch to Schwarber, and he takes high ball 1 from Griffin Canning. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Went after the knuckle curve that went over the middle of the plate, swung over it. That's chopped right to Mauricio. He'll fling it to Alonso. 1 down. No, I am not. Oh, shut up, you gambling fool. We wouldn't be in this situation if you didn't go out of your way to do mindless pitcher gambles, Mendoza. Strike 1. I believe this is Bohm at the plate. Wait. I wouldn't give for this guy to shut the hell up. 1-1. Yeah, it is Bohm. Bohm singled and then he scored in his last at bat. Finally, he got him to shut up. 2-1. As Canning is trying too hard with the slider. So apparently the Braves are going to be without Chris Sale for a while. Left rib cage fracture on one of the ribs on the left side of his cage. On one of the ribs on the left side of his rib cage. 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Full count. Pay off to Bohm. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Eye of the Tiger being played on the organ. Let's see what happens here. And it's ball 4. Son of a bitch. IndyCar makes their return again on Fox tomorrow. Road America. Castellanos up. He got an RBI double that tied the game back in the first. Could be in a similar situation here in the third, but I doubt it. Swing and a miss. Went after the knuckle curve. 0-1. Way outside. 1-1. Alvarez has got to get out of that. 2-1. Throw the pick off Schwarber. He's back in. 2-1. Or Bohm, excuse me. 2-1. Three and one. And now Canning is just trying too hard to play it cute instead of playing aggressive. I mean, I get he's trying to trick Castellanos to chase, but Castellanos is not biting on these pitches. Get it more in. Pick off attempt, not in time to get Bohm. That's disengagement number 2. One more, and Bohm moves into scoring position. And it's up and out, ball 4. And now Canning is giving up back-to-back walks. He needs to be calmed down. Yeah, that's going to be the new rule next year. The last couple of years, you're not allowed to argue strikes and ball, challenge for a ball or strike call in the zone. I mean, this is one of the main reasons some people wish that the human element of umping a ball game be removed from the equation. Let's look at the up and down start of the Phillies. They started the year 5 behind the Mets at 13-13. Then they got a 2-game lead over the Mets over their next 29. But then they started to fall off again in their last 21. However, they come into tonight a game ahead of the Mets. Kepler grounded out in his first inning, first at bat in the first because Mauricio decided to go the safe route. I mean, if he wanted to, he could have thrown the first, but that would have been thrown to the plate, but that would have been disastrous. First pitch is pulled foul down the first base line on a changeup on the cut fastball, 0-1. Yeah, the only guy that had any luck against was Schwellenbach. Next week, it'll be Cubs, Astros, or Phillies, Braves. Since I'm going to be in Tennessee, odds are I'll get the latter or next week. And no, I will not be covering that game because I'll be at a convention. Swing and a miss at the slider, 0-2. Ooh, by Kepler. The Kepler. One and two. I don't know why Canning is playing it cute here. Why not just bull rush it? Just give him a heater over the middle. Damn right he does. 1-2 pitch on the way. This one's driven to center. McNeil steps back near the edge of the track. He'll make the catch. Bohm will retreat back to second, 2 down. And Bohm retreats back to second, 2 down. So Canning gets his first fly out of the inning, of the game. His first out by way of a fly ball in the inning. JT Realmuto up next. Another issue the Mets have had through this whole losing streak, granted, it's also been an issue the better part of a month, is the inability to get the clean 1-2-3 inning. Realmuto takes ball 1. I don't do a lot of works anyway. Strike 1. The 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Two and two. Who just clipped the corner. Still, 50 pitches. This is not where you want your starter to be at after 3 innings. Two is chopped to Beatty. He'll step on the bag and get the force to end the inning. So the Mets dodge a bullet on giving up 2 walks, but the Phillies can't capitalize on it. We go to the fourth. Mets 4, Philadelphia 3. Ow. Oh, we're back. Top 4. Fouled off by Alvarez. And now Joe Ross is in for the Phillies. So 3 innings, 71 pitches for Abel. He will not get the decision, no matter regardless if the Phillies come back or not. Giving up 4 home runs will do that to you. Alvarez swings and misses over the sinker that doesn't sink, 0-2. This one's fouled off. Swing pitch number 4. And he's 4 for 4 on swings. I ain't just swinging at the pitch, regardless if he makes contact or not. Still 0-2. Little slow roller. Realmuto picks it up. 1 down. And that was a very slow roller. Barely caught the end of the bat and stayed fair. And we know Alvarez is not a fast runner anyway. He was dead. He was a dead duck as soon as Realmuto picked it up. 1 down. Brett Beatty up next. Let's see what he's got. I could use some damn nachos right now. First pitch. Beatty chops this one to Kemp. He'll step on the bag. 2 down. And here's Ronnie Mauricio. I hope late in the game, at the very least, Mendoza gets Mauricio out of there, moves McNeil to second, and brings Taylor in for the center for defensive purposes. I've been out of school for a month. Most of the kids in my area have been out of school for the better part of a month. Anyway, Ronnie Mauricio's up for almost 2 months. Ball one. Because we get out in May down here, not in June. Another slow roller. Ross gets 7 out of 8 strikes thrown. 3 weak groundouts to the first base side to end the inning, and 3 straight wimpy groundouts to the first base side of the first base line. Inning over. 1-2-3 go the Mets in the fourth. 4-3 New York through 3.5. It'll be Stott, Kemp, and Marsh due up. First pitch. Stott grounds it foul, 0-1. True. 1-1. Oh, strike, nothing in 2. I thought that was a ball, but whatever, I'll take it. That one's a ball. That almost hits Stott. 1-2. Chops it foul again. Swing and a miss. That's Canning's first strikeout of the night. Got him with the change. Oh. Here's Otto Kemp. Swing and a miss. Went after the slider. 0-1. Tell me about it. You want to come in now, Sean? Mac? It's fouled off. 0-2. Link's right here, Mac, if you want to come in. Harper's starting to get himself back in the groove despite the massive inflammation on his hand. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a knuckle curve. Back-to-back strikeouts for Griffin Canning. Hi, Mac.
What up, Mets?
Not going to say anything to jinx it.
Right? I know that. Yeah, I'm stopping in, man. I really hope our Mets can pull it off, man. I need a good season, man. I'm tired of this.
I mean, admittedly, what I said last night did hold a bit of weight with the whole karma for the pride flag thing last week.
Right? Oh, man.
To let it go from here on out.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing that can be done. All you're going to get is a bunch of people that are either disagree or agree, and you're going to have a lot of disagreeers.
That's right. Especially when now people are getting the scales of wokeness ripped off their eyes.
But yeah, man, I can't stay in long. I'm still hanging out with family. I got my brother down right now, so my mom came over for a little while and whatnot. But I want to hang out with you.
Got him swinging. Canning strikes out the side. Finally, a clean inning, something that's been rare in this losing streak. And as in a clean inning defensively.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, at least Murdoch's happy the Yankees have won 2 of their last 3 after losing 6 straight.
Yeah, it's something to believe in.
Including shutting out Baltimore, a no-hit through 7 for Gio. He only one hit Baltimore. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's been a problem. I'm getting tired of being one of the best teams on paper, and then we're yeah. It's getting old.
Especially when you consider again who's our manager, a mindless gambler on both ends of the ball.
Yep.
He'll gamble with the lineup. He'll gamble with the pitching core.
And why there hasn't been a change on that baffles me.
Which is why I've been saying slap a shot collar on him, dangle him from the highest point in the stadium, and threaten to drop him unless he promises never to gamble in game again.
Yep. Heck yeah. I like that.
Or give him the Ludovico treatment from A Clockwork Orange.
I don't think anybody would let that happen. Clockwork Orange stuff was on another level. Well, actually, I think that actually does happen, and we just don't know about it.
What, the Ludovico treatment?
Yeah. That was a great movie, man. Good call.
Though the book was better from what I heard.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Granted, I've never read the book either.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither. I saw the movie and it was good. I'll take that. I don't need to read the book. If the movie was good enough, I'm not going to go read the book. I heard Jaws the book was better too, but I saw the movie. That was enough for me.
Top 5, Lindor starts off taking a strike from Joe Ross. Those 3 homers in the last inning really rocked Mick Abel. That was Lindor's first homer in almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks, really?
They're about.
Top guy.
0-2.
That's a problem. You got to be well-rounded all the way through your batting regimen. It can't be just you have a couple good hitters because they have their off times. They all do. Some have their off times in the worst time, like when it gets close to the playoffs.
2, Raphael. 0-2 on the foul off. Then again, all 6 Met runs in this series have come by solo shots. We need more than this.
Yeah. It's got to be well, that's the same thing that happened to the Yankees. Like, they can make the runs, but when they're not making the runs, they're not doing anything else. They're not getting on base. You know what I mean? Like,
or when they do, they can't capitalize on it.
Yep.
1-2 pitch to Lindor on the way. Too far off the corner. 2-2. Are you sure you don't have a computer, Mac?
Yeah, no, I have a computer, but I don't have like speakers hooked up to it to where I could like talk to you with my computer.
Realmuto going to have to talk to Ross.
What's that?
Mound visit. Top heavy tonight. The first 3 in the order. 5 for 6. 4 homers. 4 RBIs. 4 runs. Back to back to back in the third.
Now, yeah, Mets. My computer is hooked up to my TV.
By Alonso. Lindor lines one to Turner. It's a lazy one, and he catches it 1 down. Here are the 3 homers. All off the bat, going over 100 plus. 2 to right, 1 to left center, and here comes Nimmo. Goes inside, too far in does Ross, 1-0. Only the 3rd multi-homer game this year for Nimmo.
Expecting a little more, but
Nimmo fouls that one off. Goes way behind the backstop. Nimmo now number 2 in the team with RBIs at 41. Ooh. 2-1.
Okay.
Oh, so it was when they were in Brooklyn. Okay. 2-1 pitch. And Nimmo chases a shit slider in the dirt, 2-2. I don't know why he chased that pitch.
Trying to make too big of a difference.
Realmuto sets up on the outside. 2-2 is a grounder to Turner. Backhands, fires, got him. 2 down. Hello, Addison. Here comes Soto. Let's see if he can go for a multi-homer game for the first time as a Met. Or second time as a Met. I forgot he had done it against Arizona, losing effort. Passed already. Single and a solo tonight. Strike one to Soto on a curveball. And Mexico retired since the back-to-back-to-back.
Come on, Soto.
But then again, Soto's never really wanted to chase the first pitch. Know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. It's true. I want more than what he's already brought into the game. We need something more than that right now. We need a spark.
1-1 pitch. Way upstairs, 2-1.
I could see them walking too, though.
But Alonso's on deck.
Oh, all right.
Randy struck out his last time up, and the bat went flying on him. Yeah, the bat went further than the ball. Remember the scene in Happy Gilmore with the heckler? Jackass? And then, wow, the club went further than the ball.
Hell yeah. No, definitely. That was a great movie.
Right.
Hey, Mets, I'm going to head out. If you're still on later on, I'll be back in, but I'm going to go next door with the family. But I had to stop in and make sure that I at least did that.
There? No, it's not.
I was hoping maybe my exit would be a home run.
It would have been a double based on where it was going to drop if it's.
Oh, okay.
But he hooked it too far down towards the foul side of the line.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just watched the replay.
Well, it's good to see you, Mets. And like I said, hopefully you'll still be on, and I'll come back on with you.
Okay.
Then I'll see you next time around.
All right. Payoff pitch, Soto.
All right, brother. Later.
So fouls that off. We'll do it again. Here's the payoff. And so pulls this one. Right field. Is this going to stay fair this time? Oh, you bet your fucking ass. Second deck shot. 5-3 New York.
And so gets under one deep center track near the wall. And it's out of here. Now ahead of 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the field. It's out of here. 1-2 Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field. Chasing Rodin back to the warning track. And it's out of here. Pete Alonso goes the other way.
And Alonso rips a shot in the left field for a base hit. He's on with another single. Be more reliant on the top-heavy spots. Here comes McNeil. McNeil up next. For Soto, that's his 16th of the season. So basically, all 7 hits for the Mets tonight have come from the front 4. Lindor with 1, Nimmo with 2, Soto with 3, and Alonso with 2. Swing and a miss by McNeil, 0-2. Granted, in this case, Alonso's not in scoring position yet. But that said, this series, all 7 homers have come by long ball. And compared to their last series production, this is a step up. And 7 runs is a step up. Ground ball that's boom, fires, got him in time, but not before the Mets get one more run on 2 hits. We are halfway home. It's New York 5, Philadelphia 3, and the Mets have scored the most runs they've had in the last couple of weeks. They haven't scored more than 5 in the last, 11 or 12 games. So what are the Mets going to do in this situation? Trey Turner now on to face Griffin Canning. First pitch is outside, ball 1. I think I got to rely on the Braves to beat Philadelphia next weekend. As for where the Mets are going, they're going to Pittsburgh next weekend after they deal with 4 from Atlanta. First at home. Swing and a miss, and that one nearly gets me, and the bat nearly hits Alvarez in the head. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. 1-2. 65 pitches for Canning. The question is Mendoza going to be stupid and gamble away another game? Which is weird. 2-2. Yeah, especially lately. Danny Young, AJ Minter, Tyler McGill, Kodai Senga, Brooks Raley. Turner wraps this one to left center. Who's going to... It's bobbled by McNeil, but he's able to recover. But too late to get him. This is going to be a E6, 8 on McNeil. But the catch is blown. This should have just been Nimmo's ball instead of McNeil's. If McNeil just leaves it for Nimmo to get, then maybe we get the first, then the Mets get the first out. Instead, it's an E8. It's a single combined with an E8 on McNeil. You know, to lead off the fifth for Philadelphia. Instead, it's an E8 on McNeil. Here comes Schwarber. Swings and misses at the slider, 0-1. In and out of the glove, fouled off. Not like Turner was going to take off on that anyway. 0-2. He did get a single and scored in the first inning, but let's see what he does in here. Turner does have speed on the base path, so a single would be able to be enough to get him home and cut the deficit in half. Ball 1. One, 2. That's gone. No, it's foul. My bad. I mean, it sounded good off the crack of the bat. Don't get me wrong. He just hooked it too far right. He just hooked it too far down towards the right field corner, and it missed the pole. And it went too far from on the foul side of the pole. A little too soon on that swing. 1-2 pitch in the dirt, but this time Alvarez isn't framing it. He'll go after it and hold Turner at second. 2-2. Is he going to strike out this time? Let's see. 2-2 pitch on the way. On the ground, foul. We'll do it again. He's at least stacking the count here on Canning. Since 2019, Kyle Schwarber and Pete Alonso are number 3 and number 2 in total home runs, only eclipsed by Aaron Judge, who's hit 258. Alonso with 244. Schwarber with 243. Schwarber with 244. 244. Schwarber with 232. Which I don't have which if you're a Phillies fan, you wouldn't have an issue with. 2-2 pitch. Bounces in the dirt again, full count. If you're Canning, you do not want to walk Schwarber because next ahead behind him would be, I believe, Nick Castellanos. If it's not him, it's Alex Bohm. But I think it's Castellanos. This is pitch number 8 in this at bat. Got him! 1 down. Huge first out for Griffin Canning right there. Chase So it is Bohm. So I was right. Ball one. He walked and he got a single, and then he later scored. This is a score position situation for Philadelphia. And again, get into a deep, middle, shallow part of the infield, and you can get Turner home pretty easily. Or the outfield, I should say. 1-1. But hit a line drive at someone like Nimmo or McNeil where they have to play on a hop and they can throw it in easily, lead to a cutoff man. Strike two. Didn't get him on that one. 2-2. That's fouled off. I did the strips and did one of the wraps. So yes, didn't like the wrap. The strips were decent. Bomb goes the other way. That's going to go base hit, so it will cut it off, but it's going to score Turner anyhow. 5-4 Phil. And the Met lead is cut in half. It's 5-4 New York. Bohm will be held to a single at the minimum. But here comes Nicholas fucking Castellanos. I did say get either to the middle range of the outfield or from any direction and you get Turner home easily. That's come to pass. 5-4 New York. Ironically, all Phillies runs have come by small ball in this game, where they had a good number of their game hits come by big shots, more so late than the early portions. Hefner will try to calm Canning down. I don't expect him to go beyond maybe the first batter of the sixth inning if he gets out of this one with minimalistic damage. Next Saturday, some will get the Cubs against the Astros. Others will get the Phillies against these Phillies, heading to Atlanta to face the Braves, a team that has given them fits over the years. Castellanos doubled. He drove in a run with an RBI double that tied the game back in the first. Hello, Nate. First pitch, swing and a miss at the slider, 0-1. One and one. Dirt Alvarez throws, safe. 2-1. Two one pitch. 3-1, and Canning is just trying too hard to try for the pickoff play at first. Yeah, it's a rarity for someone like him. Kepler waits on deck for those wondering, I think. Ground ball. Bay Flings going to go the second for the force. Throw to first. Not in time. Castellanos beats the throw out, so no round the horn double play, but they do cut down the lead runner. But Bay is able to cut the lead runner down. Okay. 6, 5. Yeah, he's safe. He's safe. No need to challenge that one. Kepler is flown out and grounded out, the former of which he grounded out to score a run in the first, and he flew out. Swings and misses over the slider, 0-1. Here's the question, and it looks like they are getting Oscar Brazaban up and ready to throw. Mendoza better not do something stupid like put Blackburn in again like last time, which was the calamitous cause of this losing streak. Strike 2, and yeah, throw over to try to cut Castellanos down. Not happening. He gets back safely, 0-2. Go to. Sent to center. McNeil's going to be under it this time, and this time he'll make the catch to end the inning. But 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 stranded for Philadelphia through 5. New York 5, Philadelphia 4. And we're back. Each side got 1 run in the 5th. Mets on a Soto solo and an RBI single. Granted, it shouldn't have been earned. Jerry Young leads off for the Mets, as much as I hate this kid. Joe Ross up, ground ball, right to Kemp, broken bat, 1 down. I mean, with the exception of Soto and Alonso's hits in the 5th, everything that Ross has thrown has been a grounder, and the McNeil lazy line, Lindor lazy liner. Every hit, every bit of contact against Joe Ross has predominantly been to the first base side of the diamond. And then he got traded to Philadelphia, and when he realized he couldn't find a place in the rotation, he had to go to the bull. Thompson stuck him in the bullpen. Ball one to Francisco Alvarez. And by him, I'm referring to Joe Ross. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 1-1. There's Jose Alvarado. Alvarez back at the middle. Stop with the dive, but he had caught, but the ball was caught in his glove, was stuck in his glove. Then that delay cost him infield hit for Francisco Alvarez. If Stock gets up faster and gets that ball out of his glove more cleanly, he would have had, given the lack of speed Alvarez has in his legs, he would have gotten Alvarez on that. Instead, he hesitated to double check that the ball was in his glove as he was getting up to fire, and when he got it, too late. And when he got it up, too late to double check, too late. Alvarez was already at first. Here's Brett Beatty. Ball one. First hit in the game from the Mets, not from the front four. That's not from any of the front four batters. Beatty has been battling groin tightness for the last few days, which is why he didn't play during the Atlanta series. Two-0 pitch. Ball three. Especially when you consider the Rays are playing base at George Steinbrenner Field, having to declare squatters' rights this year. They got a chip in their shoulder. Don't get me wrong. 3-1. Beatty doesn't take 3-1. Did he go? Yes. 3-2. Uh-oh. That's fouled off, so Beatty stays alive. And now Beatty goes down swing, 2 down. Chase the slider. Didn't bring the bat down low enough. Here's Ronnie Mauricio. First pitch swing, line to right, base hit. Alvarez will stop at second. Is going to jog into third safely. Out Mauricio holds it first with a single. So now it's 2 men on and 2 men out for the Mets. Now the bottom of the order is starting to get some going. So what's Thompson going to do here? Going to take the ball from Joe Ross. Who's going to come in to replace him? So Joe Ross out after 2 2.3. 1 run, 3 hits, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts. Tyrone Taylor coming in to replace Ronnie Mauricio. That means McNeil will be moved to second, Taylor to third, and Taylor to center. And it's going to be Tanner Banks coming in to face Lindor. Disney Princess Night. Yuck. Damn. Lynn Hamilton gone? Something that he's not used to. First pitch to Lindor is up and in, strike up and over, strike 1. Tom, you got my numbers wrong. It's 2128, you dim goop. Skull. They look to try to put one in play on the ground or up or line it. 0-1 pitch. Smacks it, but it goes foul down the third base line, 0-2. Last 7 games, the Met offense has been dog shit. 6 homers, 16 runs, and a 205 batting average. Tonight, 385, 5 hits, 5 runs, all of them by the long ball. Lindor pops this one up towards the corner. It's a fair ball. Wow, that's going to bring 2 home. I thought it was foul, but either way, 7-4, Lindor gets an RBI double. Where the hell did that one go? I thought it was foul, not fair. And I mean, even Nick Castellanos thought it was foul, and I don't blame him. I mean, I can't really blame him for that. Let's see. Right there, it did hit the fair side of the wall, all under the pole. That is a fair ball. It's a 2-run double for Lindor. And Castellanos has got to be smacking himself in the head for that. And for the first time in weeks, the Mets have scored more than 5 runs. I think it was a little too low for it to be a homer. Let's see, does it hit the foul pole? I can't see. Can we get a zoom in on that? I couldn't really tell if it hit the pole or not. From the From the shot I saw, it didn't hit the pole. It didn't look like it cleared to me, so I say the call should stick. It's a 2-run double. It's a 2-run double for the Mets. That's what I thought. And that's what I thought. In all honesty, that's what I thought when I looked at it. It didn't look like the ball got me hit any part of the pole. It hit most of the wall on the fair side. But I can't blame. But again, I can't blame Castellanos for thinking that ball was going to go foul. So I don't blame. Can I blame the umps for wanting to double check in that case? No. But was it a double right off the bat when at the glimpse? And that ball gets away. Lindor is going to go to third, ball one. The runners Ross were responsible for charged to him. So Joe Ross, excuse me. Here's the question: if you're Carlos Mendoza, do you make the same mistake again, putting in Paul Blackburn for them 2-0? That hit him? No, it didn't. No, it did not. Two-zero pitch. Ground ball. Knocked down by Kemp. He'll scoop it to Banks, inning over, but the Mets do double up. They do get two off of the combination of Ross and Banks. The runs charged to Ross regardless. Through 5.5, New York Mets 7, Philadelphia 4. Griffin Canning going to be going back out there. I do not like this, but let's see what he does. First pitch, strike one. He faces JT Realmuto. That's fouled off, 0-2. Yeah, it does, Miguel. The first 2 runs in this series for the Mets, not done by the long ball. If that ball hit the pole, that would have been, I'd be saying a different story, as it would still be long ball, but at least it wouldn't be a solo long ball. Oh, 2 is outside and low, 1-2. That's chopped and foul toward the Met dugout. We'll do it again. But still, 93 pitches. You got to get him out of here. Get him out of there as soon as possible, Mendoza. This still feels like gambling, leaving him in there with his pitch count that high. Case in point, look at what happened to Clay Holmes on Thursday. And he was only in there for he got the hook just before the end of the fourth. 1-2 pitch in the left field, base hit. In the left center, base hit for Real Muto. Nimmo will scoop it up and cut Real Muto off for a single. Now the question is, does Mendoza get him out of there? And he does. Thank God they learned his mistake from last time out. Huascar Brazaban ready to go. Three-run lead for New York. Stott set to face Brazaban. That's have made the defensive switch. Taylor in the center. Neal moved to second. Mauricio out of the game. I'm still confused how that wound up being fair instead of foul. Can no one blame me for being puzzled? It's all about the Lindor double that got the Mets 2 more runs and puts their lead to 3. No. At least Mendoza learned from his mistake with Peterson, i.e., he didn't leave him out there after the first man gets on. He's taken him out of the game and replaced him with Huascar Brazaban, who's been one of his better middle relievers this year. First pitch by Brazi to Stott, 0-1. Too far out, 1-1. Strike 2. That one comes just in enough to where it catches the inside corner. I'm aware, Miguel. 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging on the heater. 1 down. Yeah, both against Atlanta. Gave up the game-winning sac fly on Tuesday and was basically put in as emergency damage control against Atlanta on Thursday, and we all know how that panned out. Swing and a miss by Kemp, 0-1 on the cut fastball. Now, here's the problem for the Mets tonight. Because you used some of your better arms like Justin Garza and Reed Garrett last night, you're stretched thin in the pen. Jose Budo, Reed Garrett, and Justin Garza last night, mostly because you couldn't trust Blake Tidwell to get out of the 4th inning again, which he couldn't again. Granted, the damage was a lot more minimalized when compared to his first start out. So for Tidwell, his appearance was a step up when compared to his start last month in St. Louis. Oh, 1-2. You have to go to either Davinsky, Nunez, Stanek. That's fouled off. Zubar, who I have never heard of. Hi, Zubar. He was an AL pitcher. Must have gone under the knife last year, which is why he only threw in 2 games. And Jose Castillo. Oh, and Stanek. 1-2. That's chop foul again, and we'll do it again. Otto Kemp. 1-2 pitch. And that hits him in the wrist. That got him right on the top of the wrist. That's going to leave a stinger. Well, he can at least move his fingers so it's not broken. In the last 10 days, I've had to put both Tyler McGill and Kodai Senga on the injured list. Both are not expected back until July. In the 7 games since June 13th, the Mets have the 2nd worst ERA in the majors. Here's in the bullpen. And here's Marsh, and he takes ball 1 low. Marsh hits this one to center. Taylor going back on his horse near the edge of the track. He'll make the catch. Real Muto tags up, and that's all for them. And that's it for the Phillies on that play. 2 down. I mean, with the minor league rehabs, if you ask me, you're better off just calling Mania back ASAP. Montas has been dog shit in the minors. Ball 1. And Frankie Montas, he is buckling in big city markets like New York, both with the Yankees last year when he got that shoulder injury and this year with the Mets, albeit he's still in the minors. Ball 2. And he goes down, and Razabon is trying too hard to get him to chase. Turner, one of the more disciplined hitters in baseball, he's not going to bite on those kinds of pitches. But I understand. You don't want to face Schwarber with the bags loaded, but this may be the case. Takes one, strike one. Cue shot towards McNeil. He's going to hurry, and he got him. And Brazabon dodges a bullet. Base hit, plunk batter, but nothing across for Philadelphia. We go to the 6th, and we go to the 7th. New York 7, Philadelphia 4. Out. It'll be Soto, Alonso. Hold on. It'll be Soto, Nip, Alonso, and McNeil in the 7th for the Mets. First pitch is a ball on the outside by Romano. So it takes ball 2 on the curve and on the slider. Jordan Romano, this is his 30th appearance. 0-3 with a 6.84 ERA in 26 plus innings. 34 strikeouts, 12 walks. Low and in again, 3-0. So it takes all the way on that one, 3-1. So it pops that one foul and into the seats. Full count. Got it too much off the top of the bat. From the top of the barrel. Soto waits. Payoff coming. Pull on the ground to Kemp. He'll scoop it up and step on the bag. And for the first time tonight, Soto's retired. And a 2-run double. Here's Pete Alonso, who had a solo homer last night. They got the Mets on the board, but it didn't matter in the long term after, Alonso flies this one to shallow right, heading towards foul ground. Who's going to get it? And Castellanos drops it. Found the rim of his glove, but it slid out. Out as he slid. If you ask me, squeezed the glove too early, and the ball popped out of it. I wonder if Castellanos is letting that last play he missed prior to this one get into his head. A 1 pitch. Up and away. 1-1. One pitch. 2-1. Compared to last year, Pete's numbers at this time are a step up. 18 homers, 64 RBIs. He's more than earned his keep to be in the All-Star game this time around when compared to last year, where he got in basically on favoritism. That one's fouled off, 2-2. In terms of games started for Castellanos, he played for basically a little over a season and a half. A little more than a season. 2-2. And down he goes swinging. Though for now, Tatis Jr. smashed one to left center to make it 5-1 in San Diego. Or rather, Slam Diego. Bottom 8. Here's McNeil. Strike 1. Yeah, last week San Francisco came in with a chance to take over the division lead, and they screwed it up and have allowed 4 games of distance between them and the Dodgers. And McNeil pops it up, shallow center, march under it. He'll make the catch. Mets go quietly. Time to stretch. 7-4, New York. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her, excuse me, and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. It'll be Schwarber, Bohm, and Castellanos for the due up for the Phillies. The question is, What do you put in for the Mets? Do you gamble and keep Brosban out there? In my opinion, the answer is no. You gotta go to a new gotta go to a fresh arm. Then again, this is Carlos Mendoza, a known an avid bullpen gambler. Luis Angel Acuna now comes in to play second. Another D sub. I don't know why. This is, I guess, is lineup gambling instead of pitcher gambling. The fact that it took 17 pitches to get Brazzi out of that inning, for Brazzi to get out of that inning, it's a red flag to keep him out there as long as this. But again, what has been my biggest critique of Carlos Mendoza? Bullpen gambling. One of the most infamous moments, the first no-hitter in Shea Stadium history, when Jake Bunning threw a no-hitter against New York on June 24th, 1964. First pitch by Brosnan on the Schwarber, way outside on the cut fastball, 1-0. That one is a strike on the sinker, 1-1. In the dirt on the changeup, 2-1. Then one run on a wild pitch in the second, on a pass ball in the second. Ground ball through the hole on the right side, base hit. Through the middle, base hit. And now you got to get Brazzi out of there. Or is Mendoza going to gamble again? Because this has been my biggest pet peeve with this son of a bitch. Gambling with his pitching core. Where I want to strangle his ass to fucking death. I never do it, but I am getting to that point where I would be willing to do it. Ball one. Small chopper, McNeil to Acuna. Lindor to Acuna, back to Alonso. Double play. Good job, guys. Oh, damn, that hurts. Chopper is fouled by Castellanos, 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. That was a changeup at 91 that came in on him. And Michael Mercado warming up. He'll probably go in for the 8th and come in for the 8th inning for the Phillies. If I remember correctly, Philly gets Pittsburgh. No, they're done with Pittsburgh. No, they're done with Pittsburgh. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that ends the inning. So after a leadoff single, Brosnan gets a double play and a K to get out of it. 7 down, 2 to go. 7-4, New York. Jordan Romano gets a scoreless and gets a clean inning for his outing tonight, striking out 1, so his night's done. So Michael Mercado comes on to pitch. Mets have only had have gone 1 for 4 so far with runners in scoring position. But my question is, who's Philly get after this? Oh, they're going to Houston. Oh boy. Monday's a travel day, and then they go to Houston for 3 before coming home, before going to Atlanta to play the Braves. Mets, on the other hand, 4 with Atlanta, and then 3 in Pittsburgh. And then they get a travel day that next Monday before coming home to face a red-hot group, face a team that essentially in the regular season made them their bitch last year. And for the last handful of years, more so when they're playing in Milwaukee, up north in Wisconsin, has made the Mets their bitch. You know which team I'm talking about. The Brew Crew. Ow. I'm referring to the Brew Crew. Third appearance for Mercado. He's had a bad outing. Pretty bad so far. First pitch to Jared Young is too far in. Ball 1. On show, no. Ah, damn it! They're gonna pivot me over to the news. News soon. I fucking hate this. 2-0 pitch. Young blast this one. Deep right field. Goodbye. There's an insurance run for the Mets. 8-4 New York.
And so he gets underway deep center track near the wall, and it's out of here. Tywin ahead of 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the field. It's out of here. 1-2 Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field, chasing Rodin back to the warning track, and it's out of here. Pete Alonso goes the other way.
Where has this output been for the last week? 8-4 New York. Alvarez faces a 1-0 pitch. Waves and whips 1-1. Alvarez fouls that one off, 1-2. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to pivot to the Fox Sports app for those wondering. Mostly due to the fact that in about 5 minutes, it's going to pivot. The broadcast is going to pivot from the game to my local 10 o'clock news. Fuck that. 1-2 is in the dirt, 2-2. And down goes Alvarez, 1 down. Scott Miller. Huh? Ball 1 to Beatty. Beatty is flown out, struck out, grounded out, and struck out. Ball 2. The Mets started this month winning 9 of their first 11 and have lost each of their last 7 to go even in the month. Something I cannot stomach, to be honest. Ball 3 in the dirt. Then they added with a solo by Soto in the 4th. That's ball 4 to Beatty in the 5th, and then the Phillies answered back with an RBI single that inning, following a Jeff McNeil fielding error. And then the Mets got 2 on a screwball double by Lindor in the 7th in the next inning. And here in the 8th, they got a solo bomb by Jared Young. Here's Tyrone Taylor. Strike 1. If I'm Carlos Mendoza, I leave nothing to chance. Taylor lines one over Turner, the leaping Trey Turner, base hit. Beatty will stop at second. Turner will go to first with a single. Back to the top of the order with Francisco Lindor. No team has had a multi-homer game for each of the top 3 in their lineup, ever. Ball 1 and strike 1 in Lindor. Lindor fouls it off. Right pinky toe. Let's see where this hit. Let's see where this foul ricocheted off him. That's not good. But he looks okay. Personally, to play it safe, I'd just strike out if I'm Lindor. Ball 1. And down he goes swinging. In all honesty and in fairness, I think that was all Lindor could do, given the pain he's feeling in his shin. Here comes Nemo. In about, 30 seconds? 0-1 pitch to Nemo is low, 1-1. And that'll be in about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2-1. And here's the report. In any case, 3 balls and a strike to Nimmo, and he. What? He's not the only one. Can't blame Nimmo for that. That's fouled off. We'll do it again. What a catch by a kid in the field, in the seats. Oh, nice catch in the first row of the second deck. Nice catch, Kit. Nice catch, sir. Nimmo fouls it again. Another catch by a fan in the seats. This one in one row and a few sections up. It's high and away, ball 4. That's going to load the bags. Yeah, I'm having to use the free pass due to the fact that the feed cut away to President Trump's address on the Iran nuclear strikes. These strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Mercado has to be careful here. He's given up one solo bomb. First pitch. Soto fouls that one off. 0-1. I'm pretty sure every other non-digital subsidiary channel on an antenna setup. That's up and in on Soto 1-1. Way outside, 2-1. Soto takes a cutter, 2-2. Mercado in trouble. Way outside again, this time with a split finger, and the carousel will be in motion this pitch. Payoff pitch. So lines one and a right, base hit. That's going to bring home 2. Beatty is in. Taylor comes in behind him. 4-hit night for Soto. 2 home runs, 2 singles, and the Mets are now up 10-4 on Philadelphia. Strike 1. After a nightmare of a week, Alonso takes strike 1. And we are back. Thank God. 1-2. I noticed. 1-2 to Alonso, who has singled twice, but he hasn't driven anyone home. Driven home anyone. Two. That's inside, full count. Soto, don't know if he'll be in motion on this pitch. But the question is, can Pete even whack this pitch? Here's the payoff. And he goes low, ball 4. Alonso walks, and the bags are loaded again for the Mets. Excuse me. And Taijuan Walker, who has been by far one of the worst pitchers in the pen for Philadelphia. And yeah, Rob Thompson's not going to lie about that. Warming up in the bullpen. And here comes Luis Angel Acuna. This is his first bat of the night. He came in as a defensive replacement, and he takes strike 1 over the plate on the cut fastball. I don't need this anymore. Who knows, Miguel? That's fouled off. I mean, between the two that are left after this, I'd say the Pirate series is a little more winnable on paper. But then again, the Pirates are a lot more dangerous in PNC than they are away from it. No balls, 2 strikes. Soto at second, Alonso at first. When he hits a chopper to Bohm, he's going to fling it. He got him. By a foot, I think. Let's see. But either way, the Mets do pick up 3. A Jared Young solo shot and a 2-run single by Soto gives the Mets a massive cushion through 7.5. New York 10, Philadelphia 4. But still, I am not leaving anything to chance. I mean, the Mets have given up a lead this big before. Case in point, August 2019 under Mickey Callaway against Washington. And it's going to be Stanek replacing Brazabon. Okay, now look. Stanek has been pretty lackluster this year, mostly due to how flat his fastball is. Though in Mendoza's defense, I'm not going to call this a gamble when you consider he's got a 6-run cushion to work with. When you consider Ryan's got a 6-run cushion to work with tonight. But that said, he needs to get out of this inning and get out of it fast. He's facing Kepler, Realmuto, and who's the last guy? I can't really see that. Stop. Stanks' last outing, he gave up a bomb against Tampa. First pitch. That's way upstairs. That's been one of the big problems with Stank this year. Little to no command on that fastball, and when he's either getting it too high or he's throwing it too low and flat, where it's basically a dead duck pitch. That one's flown out to left. Nimmo's under it easily. 1 down, 2 to go. 0 in the 8th. Here's Realmuto. First pitch. Hard hit ball in the left field. Base hit. Around the league, Jacob Murkowski, 2-0. He's only allowed 1 hit in his first 2 starts. Cal Raleigh, most in the homers by a catcher before the All-Star break, 30. That should put him in spot for the starting position in the AL side of the All-Star game. And Boston is now 10-3 in their last 13 and have climbed back to within 5.5 of the Yankees in the AL East race. And most people believe that the Sox are making a mistake shipping out Devers for basically nothing. Strike 1 to Stott. Stott fouls that one off, 0-2. And Alvarez is clutching his wrist. That's not good. Of course, remember, Alvarez had a bone removed in that area when he was out for most of the season. Bryson Stott, 241 batting average this year. O2 goes high, and it's foul on the fastball. We'll do it again. One and two as that bounces into the dirt. Can't blame me for being nervous. No lead is safe mantra. In the dirt again. this time with a split finger, 2-2. I do not know why Ryan is constantly throwing that low in the dirt with the split finger fastball. I mean, I know a split finger is meant to sink and is supposed to sink, but not like that. In any case, 2-2 pitch on the way. See if we can get one up. Well, he does, but it's fouled off. Stott is fighting him every step of the way here. 2-2. Chopper to second. Acuna. To Lindor. Got him! We go to the ninth. The question is, even though Stank didn't throw a lot of pitches, do you keep him out there for the ninth inning? This is kind of a yes and no. For me, this is sort of a yes and no. A question that's answer is yes and no. Yes, because you've got a 6-run cushion, and no, and you could possibly add on to it here in the ninth. And no, because of, well, look at what happened again with him in Washington a couple of months back. Granted, in Mendoza's defense, those were only granted in Stank's defense, he's more comfortable when he doesn't have a 1-run lead he's got to hold down. He's better when there's a multi-run lead he's got to protect. And being up by 6 is a good case in point to keep him out there. But again, I'd rather play it safe and go to Diaz, who hasn't pitched since the 9th inning of Tuesday's loss to Atlanta. Okay, they just returned, and it's actually so apparently it's a force out, not a double play ball. So we're back to it bottom 8. Stank to Otto Kemp, strike 2. So my bad. Oh, 2 pitch. Kemp loses this one to right to center. Edge of the track goes Taylor. He backs up. Now the inning is over. We go to the ninth. It'll be Young, Alvarez, and Beatty for the Mets. For those wondering, no, I have never had an authentic Philadelphia cheesesteak from Geno's. If I ever do decide to go to Philly, maybe I'll get one. John, I kill for an authentic Philly cheesesteak. You know what I got stuck making this weekend? Tornado this past a few days ago. Tornado Victor Hugo, except I used chuck shoulder fillet instead of either steak, sirloin, or filet mignon. Five, 2001, 2000, 2003, 2003. Yep, five cup appearances for the Devils. Taijuan Walker comes on. He'll face Jared Young. Ball one. So the Mets basically bat around last inning. Ball two. Walker has been horribly erratic since arriving in Philadelphia. When they got him off waivers from the Mets last year, in 23, he was in there as a starter, but he was dog shit. So they moved him to the bullpen, and he's been just as bad, if not worse, dating back to last year. They tried to keep him as a starter last year, but he was the weakest arm in the rotation for Philadelphia. So they moved him to the pen this year. Check swing goes foul, full count. Grant, even if Young didn't chase that ball, that would have been strike two anyway. Didn't go after that pitch. It would have been strike two anyway in his defense. And down he goes on strikes. Tonight, it's been top heavy from the top of the lineup. 8 of 14, 5 homers, 9 ribbies, 5 runs, back to back to back in the third inning for Lindor, Nimmo, and Alonso. Chopper is fouled by Alvarez. Alvarez crushes one. Left field and gone. Number 7 on the night for the Mets. And it's now 11-4. Only the third of the season for Francisco, and all of them have come on the road.
And so he gets underway the deep center track near the wall, and it's out of here. Time and ahead of 0-2. And he flies one out to right field. That goes Tucker to the warning track. Back in the fence. It's out of here. 1-2 to Alonso. And he lifts one out to right field, chasing Rodin back to the warning track, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso goes the other way.
Now it's 11-4 New York. Let me switch to my brother's networks. Let's see if I can get it. If the game comes in a little more clear. 1-2 to Beatty coming up. Got that right. 7 home runs tonight for the Mets. Their record as a team is 8 in a single game. Ironically enough, it came in this very ballpark the night the captain, David Wright, returned in 2015. This one's popped up by Beatty in the foul ground. Bohm's under it. He'll make the catch. 1-2 away. Boom. Tyrone Taylor's up next. He got on with a single back in the 8th. Ball 1. And think of it like this, folks. 11 of the 13 runs, 9 of the 13 runs the Mets have gotten tonight have come by the long ball. All 7 home runs by the Mets have been solo shots tonight. 1-1 to Taylor. Did he go? Yes, he did. 1-2. Popped up in the infield. Kemp under it. Inning over. But the Mets do add one more run to the tally. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Can the Mets hold the line? It's New York 11. Philadelphia 4. The one thing I hate about doing this in the summer, humidity interference. And keep in mind, I'm using a regulator, HD regulator antenna that gets me 70 channels from here to the Triad. It's rare if I get anything from outside that range. I mean, it's supposed to be a 125-mile radius antenna. It operates more like a 70-mile radius one, in all honesty. So, who's had home runs tonight for the Mets? And they're going to go to Chris Davinsky to try to shut the door, and Johan Rojas will pinch hit for Brandon Marsh. Interesting. Francisco Lindor with a home run. Brendan Nimmo, both his hits are home runs. Juan Soto, half of his hits are home runs. Jared Young, home run. Francisco Alvarez, home run. Each team has left 7 on base, but the Mets have had fewer opportunities with runners in scoring position. They're 2 out of 7 to Philadelphia's 2 out of 10. So let's see what Davinsky does in his first appearance as a Met. Or second appearance, excuse me. Ball 1 up and away on the sweeper. One 1. Two 1. Fouled off, 2 and 2. Stupid macho cosplayers. Ross calls time. 2-2 pitch. That's fouled off. We'll do it again. No, I live more in a rural neighborhood, but just out 30 minutes outside of Charlotte. Ross pops this one to center. Taylor goes back, and he makes the catch. 1 down. In the center field, Taylor races back on his horse. 1 down. Down just before the warning track. First pitch to Jorge Sosa. Ball, strike 1. And I lost the signal briefly again. Jordan Sosa. Sosa hits one to right center. Soto or Taylor who's going to get it. It's Taylor, 2 down. And the Mets are just 1 fucking out of the way from ending this nightmare losing streak. And now Buddy Kennedy will get a shot. So essentially, Bob Thompson is burning out his bench. He's going to use up his bench. First at bat of the year, and he takes strike 1. Didn't go. 1-1. Against Philadelphia. Strike 2. Biggest shot in the arm the Mets needed in the past week. Win this and you get back in the lead via the division via a tiebreaker. That puts all the pressure on both David Peterson and whoever pitches for Philly tomorrow. Ball 1. Ball 2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Put in the books. Mets win. Game over. Mets win 11-4. Hallelujah. The fucking losing streak's over. Turnabout is fair play. Philadelphia blew out the Mets last night. They get blown out tonight. Stand up, New York Mets fans. Cannon gets his 7th win, first in over 2 weeks. First loss for Mick Abel. No save. 7 home runs for the Mets being the deciding factor. And the Mets and Phillies are tied again, but the Mets hold the tiebreaker advantage. That was their 4th win of the season against Philadelphia. I'm glad that nightmare, this BS losing streak's finally over. Mendoza finally did not gamble a game away. Tomorrow night's the rubber match, and whoever leaves that game is going to have all the momentum going into Monday. Granted, for Philly, they're on a travel day. The Mets have Atlanta for 4. You're damn right, DB. He wasn't going to be able to gamble this one away. Thanks to everyone who showed up in the chat. Thanks for McAteer, who showed up for the 5th inning. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Mets2128. Also subscribe to the members of the Aboriginal Sports Network, Big Pat, Man Cave, Unpopular NYG, TP, and all the other content creators. Goodbye. Good night. Bang. I'll see you over on Man Caves tomorrow night for Game 7 of the NBA Finals.